Okay? It's gone. Can you see it? Guruve Gaurachanda Radhikaya Tadale Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ra Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare. Okay, sorry for the problem. I already gave 20 minutes of class. Now I'll have to do it again. Everything always breaking. The computer doesn't work. Now the iPhone wasn't working. It's just everything's a disaster. Okay, chapter 36. Madhura-rasa-vicara, Sthayibhava and stages of Rati. Okay, so what are the 7 causes of the appearance of Rati? Abhiyog, Visay, Sambandha, Abhiman, Tadya Vishesh, Upama and Swabhav. These are 7 causes. Okay. Normally it's like 30 people watching. Today is only a few. Okay, what is Abhiyog? Okay. Hey Panabi, I think I deleted a class on Friday. Can you find it? Yes. So, Abhiyog is expressing one's bhav. It's 2 types. Either one expresses oneself or someone else expresses for you. Okay, this chapter, not too much to understand in this chapter like the other chapter. So many definitions, so many high terminology. Okay? So Abhiyog means expressing one's mood. What is Visaya? 7 Visaya, 5 Visayas. Visaya means object of the senses. So seeing Krishna's form, smelling Krishna's fragrance, tasting the nectar of Krishna's lips, hearing his flute or voice, or touching him. These 5 Visayas are also the cause of Rati appearing. What is Sambandha? Sambandha is 4 aspects: lineage, beauty, qualities and pastimes. Abhiman, okay? Is the sound okay? Abhiman is the definite decision to accept only one thing even though many other things may be present. For example, there was one young gopi, she could not be with Krishna because of her young age. Then Krishna left for Mathura, she could not meet him. So one of her friends decided to test her. Oh Saki, you are very beautiful with many qualities. There are many handsome young men here in Braj that you can meet. They have so many good qualities and so much beauty. I can speak to your mother and she can arrange the marriage. Then the gopi said, oh, let there be so many young men, but if there is no peacock feather, there is no murli on the lips, there is no tilak made from the old minerals of Govardhan, then I consider this person to be insignificant as a straw. This is an example of Abhiman. Okay. Tadya Vishesh means the footprints of Krishna. Tadya means Krishna's own things. To the pasturing grounds of Braj, footprints, Krishna's devotees, these are also all Tadya Vastu, the causes of Rati appearing. Upama is in a comparison, like Krishna's eyes are like a lotus. This is Upama. When you see a lotus, this can also be the cause of remembrance of Krishna, the causes of Rati appearing. Krishna is dark like a rain cloud. You may see a rain cloud, this may also be the cause of Rati appearing. Okay? This is Upama. Swabhav. Swabhav is the last. Swabhav is number 6. Swabhav means nature. Nature 2 types, Nisarga and Swarup. Nisarga means which comes as a result of sudden bhakti. And Swarup also, Swarup means that which has no birth and origin. Okay, there are 3 types of Swarup: Krishnanishta, Lalananishta, and Uvayanishta. Okay. So when he explains this, then Vijay still cannot understand, so he asks for an example. So he says, the Rati that I'm talking about arises only from Raganuga Bhakti, but this type of Rati is very far away as long as Vaidhi Bhakti does not become Bhavamoy. Translation? Raganuga Bhakti, Sadhan Bhakti also have 5 divisions: Bhavamoy, Bhav Sambandhi, Bhav Anukul, Bhav Pratikul, and Bhav Varud. Bhavamoy means Shravan Kirtan becomes enthused with one particular mood, that is called Bhavmoy. Bhav Sambandhi means that which is directly related to the mood to which one is aspiring. Bhav Sambandhi, Bhav Anukul, that which is favorable, like Ekadasi, today's Ekadasi for example. Bhav Virud, that which is neither against or favorable, like putting stamps of Harinam on your body. Where are you going? What are you going to get? Are you going to fix my iPad? Oh, don't worry. That's yours. Okay, so anyway, so as long as Sadhan Bhakti does not become Bhavmoy, then very difficult to awaken Rati. Okay, so sadhak who sees or hears these moods and desires to achieve them, that is how Rati awakens. How many types of Rati are there? 3. Sadharan, Samanjasya, and Samata Rati. 3 types of Rati. I'm in Vrindavan. Okay, so what is Sadharan Rati? Sadharan means ordinary. Ordinary Rati, the example is given of Kubja. Right? Kubja saw the beauty of Krishna. Naturally, she became attracted towards him. Therefore, she was making sandalwood paste to put on the body of Kamsa every day. But when she saw the beauty of Krishna, she thought, why wasting this sandalwood on useless Kamsa? I should give to this handsome young man. Therefore, she rubbed I think she put the fair complexion, the lightish complexion sandalwood on the body of Krishna, and the dark sandalwood on the body of Balaram. So when she touched Krishna's body, she became full of lust. So she began to pull Krishna's cloth, come to my house. But she was deformed and ugly, so Krishna thought how to repay her. So standing on her toes, he put his fingers under her chin and made her straight, like a chiropractor. By the touch of Krishna's hand, she became the most beautiful woman in Mathura. Now she had appropriate form and everything, but she was full of lust. But her Rati is called ordinary. Why? Because she only desired to enjoy herself. She did not desire to give pleasure to Krishna. She wanted to enjoy sexual happiness from Krishna. So her Rati, her affection is called Sadharan Rati. In Dwarka, their prem is called Samanjasya. Guru Maharaj said Samanjasya in Hindi also means to reconcile, to divide, to balance. For example, right, Rukmini and Sthayibhava, when they married Krishna, first they loved him, but then their children were born. Then their love for Krishna was divided between Krishna and their children. So as each child was born, their affection for Krishna a little bit decreased. Samata Rati. So this is called Samanjasya Rati. They have desire also for their own enjoyment. Some taste is there for their own happiness. But only the gopis' love is called Samata Rati. They can give up and do anything for Krishna's satisfaction. Okay. The Sadharan Rati is like a jewel. The Samanjasya Rati of the queens of Dwarka is like Chintamani. And the Samata Rati of the Braja Gopis is like the Kaustubha Mani. So anyway, please describe the characteristics of Sadharan Rati. Goswami says, Sadharan Rati appears from the desire for sambhog, sexual meeting. It is stimulated by infatuation when one sees Krishna face to face. but it's not so deep, and it's not thick, and it's not permanent. After lusty desires are satisfied, that mood also disappears. That's why it's categorized as inferior. Sadharan means ordinary. What's the nature of Samanjasya Rati? Like the queens of Dwarka. Samanjasya Rati is the full and concentrated Rati that is aroused by hearing about Krishna's beauty and qualities. Right? And which arises from the conception, I am Krishna's wife. Like Rukmini when she was a small girl. The great saint Narad Muni used to come to visit her father. Narad Muni would describe Krishna's name, form, qualities and pastimes. So Rukmini had not met Krishna, but by hearing, she decided, I will accept Krishna as my husband and no one else. This is called Samanjasya Rati. Sometimes the desire for sexual union also occurs in this mood. But it is not possible to control Krishna by expressing one's moods or halves, bhavs, hellas, etc., which arise from the desires from sambhog in this mood. Okay. Hare Krishna. Understand? Bhav, bhav, hell, we heard all these things in the previous chapter. Right? These are all the anubhavs of Madhura-rasa. But in the queens of Dwarka, there are thousands of them, and they express all their bodily. We heard about the three types, bachik, by glance, by speech, and by body. So by their halves and bhavs, hellas, and their thousands and thousands of queens of Dwarka cannot attract the mind of Krishna. Afterwards, the queens of Dwarka complaining to Rukmini, we are thousands of wives, we cannot control one Krishna. But you are one Draupadi and control 5 husbands. What is your secret? So Krishna not fully controlled by this Samanjasya Rati. Okay, and what is the nature of Samata Rati? The desire to meet with Krishna as a lover is there, as sambhog is present in every type of Rati. But in Sadharan Rati and Samanjasya Rati, that desire is for one's own pleasure. Samata is a special mood that is completely selfless and free from the self-interest desire for sexual union. Right. And which attains a state of tadatma, oneness with the desire for union. Right. Very high thing. So in the Samata Rati of the gopis, there is no one speck of desire for self-enjoyment, self-interest. Also, I will love Krishna, that feeling is not there. Their bodies are made of love of Krishna, become tadatmik with the mood. So their love for Krishna becomes them. It's not just a mood, they become that mood. It's a very high thing. I wonder, what is the special nature of that bhav? I want to hear more. There are 2 types of desire for sexual union or sambhog. The first is the desire for sambhog, in which one's desires to satisfy one's own senses, or one's own senses are satisfied by the beloved for one's own happiness. The second is the desire for sambhog that consists entirely of the conception that one should satisfy the senses of the beloved for Krishna's satisfaction. The first type is called Kam, and the second type can only be called Prema. The first is, so actually the gopis have no even desire to enjoy Krishna's beauty or to enjoy any happiness by being with him. They only desire to serve. Therefore, only they have Prem. Vijay says, but one must feel happiness from the touch of one's beloved in sambhog. Is there no desire for this happiness in Samata Rati? It is certainly extremely difficult to be completely free from such desire. So there may be a little bit desire, but that is in those who are possessed of Samata Rati, that is very faint. Okay, this is the Vishesh-Dharma of Samatha Rati. Right? This type of Rati is considered by the name Samatha. Samatha means capable. Samatha in Hindi means he can do it, he can do anything. So this Samatha Rati can only completely control Krishna because there's no self-interest. That's why it's called Samatha. What is the special glory of Samatha Rati? As soon as Samatha Rati appears, one becomes oblivious to all obstacles, such as family, religious principles, patience and shyness. Right, many years ago, Gurudeva asked Madhura Maharaj explained this. Then Maharaj gave some example. The queens of Dwarka, they also hear about Braj Leela from Subhadra, from Rohini, from the saints like Narad, Vyas and others. So they ask Krishna, what is Ras Leela? We want to know. Then Krishna explained, well, in the middle of the night I play my flute and all the beloveds run to serve me. Then the queens of Dwarka thought how that could be a very difficult thing. Well, Krishna is feeling separation, we will do. So they asked Krishna, okay, middle of the night, you play your flute and we will come. So in the middle of the night, Krishna went somewhere, played his flute. The queens of Dwarka heard the sound. But what did they do? Did they rush to meet Krishna? No, immediately they went in, started taking bath, putting on makeup, lipstick, ornaments, clothing. You know, and a lady to get dressed, how long that takes? You know, some hours. Then Krishna sitting there waiting. Then finally the queens of Dwarka came to outside their door, but they saw Vasudev Maharaj, Krishna's father, their father-in-law. They felt so much shame, they went back into their rooms. But when the gopis heard the sound of Krishna's flute, they had no other consideration of any obstacle. They just thought, Krishna needs our service, they ran. So this is the special consideration of Samatha Rati. It can break all obstacles. Okay. Hare Krishna. That is so, okay. Whatever Rati is aroused by Sambandha, Tadya, Swabhavik Surupa of any other causes, this Rati is aroused that is very deep. Okay, how does the desire for Sambhog attain Tadatmya when it mixes with Sudarati? Tadatmya means to become one. No, like I am hungry, right? Still there's a feeling I am separate from my desire of hunger. But in the stage of Samatha Rati, the gopis desire to be with Krishna. That is not a separate desire, they become that desire. So this is extraordinary. How is it possible? Gopal Guru Goswami explains, the Samatha Rati of the gopis is only for the sake of Krishna's happiness. And whatever happiness they experience in meeting with Krishna, that is also to please Krishna. You cannot imagine such high. Therefore the desire for Sambhog combines with Rati, which is exclusively the desire for Krishna's happiness, and assumes the most astounding splendor with waves of pastimes. This Rati does not allow the desire for Sambhog to exist separately from itself. Sometimes this Rati can terminate itself in Samanjasya. Even in Samanjasya that cannot be found, but only in Samatha Rati of the Braja Gopis. How extraordinary it is! I want to hear its ultimate glories. When this Rati is mature, it achieves the condition of Mahabhav. All great souls are searching for this Rati. And the 5 kinds of devotees attain it to a degree they are capable of. Which 5 types? Santa, Das, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhura. All taste Rati, but to the degree they are capable of. What is the sequence in which Rati evolves? Okay. Like sugarcane, juice. Sugarcane is put into the crusher. Right? If you choose sugarcane juice, is one taste. If you put in the crusher and it comes out as a juice, is another taste. If you boil that, it becomes thick and condensed. Molasses, right? Molasses have an even more intense taste. When you boil molasses, it becomes gur. Gur is something else. If you refine gur, it becomes other things. What it becomes? Like lozenge, you refine it more, it becomes like white sugar. Okay. So in the same, but actually that sugarcane juice is constant throughout all the gradations. So in the same way, Rati, when it becomes condensed, then it achieves these following stages of prema, sneha, man, pranay, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav. And after mahabhav is some more stages. Why you have referred to all these bhavs as prema when they have different names? So Pandits have used the word prema to denote all the stages beginning with sneha. Because there are 6 progressive stages like sugarcane juice, right? It's the same thing. As prema arises for Krishna in the heart of the devotee, then the same corresponding feeling arises in the heart of Krishna. So what is the characteristics of prema? Okay. Now we will hear what is the meaning of prema, what is sneha, what is man, what is pranay, what is rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav. Then the different types, even more than that, is mentioned here. Okay, what is the characteristics of prema? The characteristic of prema, even though there may be many causes for a relationship to break, it never breaks. That indestructible emotional bond is called prema. I don't need to say, but this world is no prema. Sometimes it's quite amusing how much, when some boy and girl get together, how much they love each other, like mad. Then after 2-3 months they hate each other. So this world is no prema. Okay, there may be many causes for the relationship to break, but it never breaks. That is the definition of prema. Right? Krishna may have many faults, but the gopis not give him one. That is the definition of prema. There are 3 kinds of prema: prodha, madhya, and manda. What is the nature of prodha prem? The heart of the beloved founders in anxiety over the pain that her lover must be feeling when she is late for the meeting. Prodha. What is madhya? Madhya is when the beloved can tolerate that feeling of pain. And what is manda? You forget about it. So obviously prodha is superior, madhya is middle class, and manda is 3rd class. Okay. The prem which separation is intolerable is prodha prem. The prem where the pain is tolerable is madhya prem, and where there is sometimes forgetfulness, that is called manda prem. I understand prem, please describe sneha. When prem attains its ultimate limit and illuminates the lamp of the mind and melts the heart, it is called sneha. Okay. When the heart fully melts. What is the characteristics? No matter how much one sees Krishna, she is never satisfied. Are there any gradations of sneha? Yes, there are 3. Uttam, Madhyam, and Kanishta. In Kanishta sneha, the heart melts upon touching Krishna. In Madhya sneha, the heart melts just by seeing Krishna. In Uttam sneha, the heart melts just by hearing anything in connection with Krishna. There's 3 gradations of sneha. Right? We hear about Krishna and we fall asleep, so you could imagine how far away we are. How many types of sneha? There are 2, Grita sneha and Madhu sneha. Madhu sneha is found in Radhika, Grita sneha is found in Chandravali and others. Grita means ghee and Madhu means honey. Actually, you take ghee and drink it, not so much taste, but honey have its own taste. That's why it's considered superior. Okay. Okay, I think page 740 you can read yourself. This describes more Grita Sneha, Madhu Sneha, the difference. Grita Sneha means Chandravali's feeling, I am Krishna's, but Madhu Sneha means Krishna is mine. So Madhu Sneha is more thick, more mamata, more feelings of possessiveness. But in both there is possessiveness, but in Radhika, there is more. When Vijay heard about these two types of sneha, his hair stood on end. I want to now hear about man. No? When sneha reaches its pinnacle of excellence, it assumes a crooked form, which allows the beloved and the lover to taste newer and newer sweetness, that is man. So even though it's so pure, it's crooked. Like a snake goes straight, but snake moves side to side. So this man is pure, but full of crookedness. Okay. So, how many types of man are there? 2. Udat and the Lalit man. What is Udat man? There are also 2 types of Udat man. One is a submissive, Dakshin Bhav, externally a submissive mood, but inside is so much angry. That is Udat man. Okay. And the other one is expressed through cryptic behavior. It conceals the moods of the mind and is very deep. It's characteristic by profound gravity. Udit man is only in Grita Sneha. And what is Lalit man? Vijay says, I don't know why. But for some reason I have more interest because he's in the group of Radhika. Udit man you can find in Chandravali and others, but Lalit man you can find only in Radhika. Madhu Sneha becomes turbulent. It conveys unrestrained and extreme crookedness and humor. It then takes the form of Lalit man. Okay. There are 2 types of Lalit man, Kutila Lalit man and Narma Lalit man. When the heart independently assumes a crooked nature, it is Kutila Lalit man. And man that is infused with humor is called Narma Lalit man. Both types of man arise from Madhu Sneha. What is pranay? When man is imbued with Vishwamba, intimacy, so much intimacy one considers oneself non-different from one's beloved, it is called pranay. Sometimes Guru Maharaj will say, after man, the meeting, that very intimate meeting which comes, that is called pranay. We will hear later how separation increased the happiness of meeting. What is the meaning of Vishwamba? Vishwamba means intimate confidence. That is the intrinsic nature of pranay. Right? Where they feel there's no, Radha and Krishna feel there's no difference between each other. Okay. There are 2 types of Vishwam, Maitra and Sakya. What is Maitra Vishwamba? Maitra Vishwamba is implicit trust, imbued with courtesy and humility. And Sakya Sneha is when that intimacy is free from all types of fear and imbued with full confidence that one's beloved is controlled by one's affection. Okay, that is Sakya Vishwamba. What is the relationship between pranay, sneha and man? Okay. Right? Interesting here, the order is reversed. We just heard the order is sneha, man, pranay. But now Vijay asks the other order. So in some circumstances, pranay arises from sneha. Right? Sometimes sneha comes first, then pranay, and then becomes man. And sometimes man, first comes sneha, then man, then pranay. Therefore, man and the stages of man and pranay are interchangeably related as cause and effect. Right? Is man the cause of pranay, or is pranay the cause of man? Interchangeable. That's why Vishwambhara has been described separately. Vishwambhara, so. The appearance of Maitra and Sakya Vishwambhara is caused by the differences between Udat and Lalit Man. Okay. Someone can make what you call a flow chart of all this. Pranay then achieves the stage of rag in its highest condition, where even extreme distress seems like happiness. Like when we do Govardhan Parikram with Gurudev would describe Radhika, to see Krishna, she stands on the very sharp and very hot stones of Govardhan. But that pain gives so much happiness because she has seen Krishna. That is called rag. How many types of rag are there? 2, Nilima rag and Rakima rag. Nilima means blue rag. Rakima means red rag. How many types of Nilima rag are there? 2 types, Nili rag and Sham rag. What is Nili rag? Nili rag is that rag or attachment which can never be weakened. It conceals the other bhavs within it. Chandravali and Krishna possess this rag, Nilami rag. Nili rag. What is Sham rag? Sham rag is that rag which is displayed through timidity, Osadesh Shaka. No translation of that. Osadesh Shaka. Don't know what that means, no? It is manifest somewhat more than Nili rag and is attained after a long time. Raktima rag. How many types of Raktima? 2 types, Kusumba and Manjista. What is Kusumba rag? It is that rag which is infused at once within the heart and manifests its own beauty according to necessity. It illuminates itself, it also illuminates other rags, that is Kusumba rag. And Manjista rag, it's also self-manifest. It does not depend on others. It is never destroyed. It is always steady. It does not decrease like Kusumba rag. Such rag is found in Radhika. The conclusion is that the bhavs that I have mentioned described, such as Grita Sneha, Udat, Maitra, Sumaitra, and Nilima, are all found in Chandravali and the queens of Dwarka. And the other ones, the progressive superior bhavs, such as Madhusneha, Lalitman, Sakya Vishwambhara, Susakya and Raktima rag, these are all found in Radhika. This is the top of page 744. Sometimes manifest in Sthayibhava under special circumstances, and Lakshmana. Lakshmana is one of the 8 main queens. Okay. Oshada Shaka, I think. Oshadi means medicine, so something caused by medicine. Okay. So, when I discussed Alamban Vibhav, remember Alamban Vibhav means the devotees? I analyzed the divisions such as Swapaksh. Right? So, he is not giving a separate explanation of this. What bhavs you mean when you say other bhavs? This means the Sthayibhava, the Madhura-rasa-vicara, the 33 Sanchari bhavs, the 7 Gonya bhavs. Right? The 7 Gonya bhavs are what? These are the Gonya rasas. Right? We heard all this in previous chapters. So the 33 Vyabhacharis, the Sthayibhava, what's that? That's 34. The 7 Gonirasas, that's 41. These are called other bhavas. Now I understood rag. What is anurag? Anurag is externally newer and newer. When Krishna experienced in a newer and newer way, anurag. Does this anurag manifest other fascinating features? In anurag, both Radha and Krishna feel. Both beloved and the beloved, beloved and the lover feel I am controlling the other by my affection. And by prem vachitya means even though the beloved is present, one still feels separation. Also the desire to take birth even as inanimate objects. Like in Gopi Geet, the gopis want to take birth even as flutes, trees, rivers, stones, for the seva of Krishna. In the stage of anurag, in separation, one can see Krishna. That means anurag drags Krishna there. Please tell me about Prem Vachitya. Prem Vachitya is included in Vipralamba. We will hear later about that next chapter. The discussion of Vipralamba and meeting. Very good, he says. After anurag, I want to hear about Mahabhav. Goodness me. Oh. Okay, today's Ekadasi and I just did Vrindavan Parikram, so head is a little spinning. So no way we're going to finish this today, no? No way. Okay, big chapter, and some, it's not the sort of chapter you can just skip paragraphs also, no? You have to read through everything. So let me hear about Mahabhav. My dear child, what do I know about Mahabhav? I hardly have any touch of Brajaras. Where am I and where is the topics of Mahabhav? Nonetheless, because I heard from Rupa Goswami and Gadadhar Pandit Goswami. Okay? Because I heard from them, I have to speak something. When anurag in the form of Jaiva-Dharma attains the condition of swas and vedyadas and becomes manifest, it is called Mahabhav. Okay, so you asked? What does that mean? Yavad Asray Bhuti. When this anurag reaches Yavad means the last limit. When the stage of anurag reaches the highest pinnacle, Yavad Asray Bhuti, then it reaches the state, the condition called Swasa Medidasa. Swasa Medidasa means impossible to describe to another person. Only that person who's experiencing it, they can understand, no one else can understand. So when that manifests, that anurag manifests to that degree, then it's called Mahabhav. So Vijay says, I am completely useless and destitute. Please explain Mahabhav in simple language, which is suitable for my understanding. I was a little tired because half this class I gave, but for some reason no one could see it. You know? So, Radharani is the ashray of anurag, and Krishna is the object of anurag. Sri Nandanandan in his Sringhad form, right, is the object of Madhura-rasa, is the ultimate limit of Vishaya Tattva. Right? Who else except Krishna could be the object of Madhura-rasa? And Sri Radhika is the last limit of Asray Tattva. Makes sense, right? This means that Sri Krishna alone is the supremmost Visaya of Anurag, and Sri Radha is the supremmost Asray of Anurag. Their Anurag is the Sthayibhava. Means their feelings progress through the stage of Rati, Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag. When that Anurag, the Sthayibhava, reaches its ultimate limit, it is called Yavad Asray Vritti. In that condition it attains the swasa medadasa, the condition that is only completely realized by that special person, no one else. At that time, anurag is illuminated by the bhavs such as sudipta bhav. It means all asta sattvic is also manifesting in a fully blazing condition. Aho, Mahabhav, says Vijay. What is the meaning of Mahabhav? Excuse me. Maybe I should finish here, huh? Mahabhav is the ultimate limit of all bhavs. I become intensely eager to hear an example of this Mahabhav. Okay, so then he spoke this verse. This verse is also spoken by Ramananda Roy in his conversation with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Ramananda Roy went to explain the meaning, Lord Chaitanya closed his mouth. Men in this world, no one qualified to hear the explanation. Who in this world qualified to hear? No. So you can imagine this Jaiva-Dharma, not less than these books like Chaitanya Charitamrita and other things. Okay? So you can read that verse, page 746, you read that verse, and if you like, if you have too much interest, then you can hear the commentary of that verse that Ramananda Roy himself spoke in Madhya Lila chapter 8. Right? Very beautiful things. But in this world, who is there to understand? Okay, so Nirdud Bed Brahman means Radha and Krishna have become free from their duality and become one. Krishna thinks I am Radhika, Radhika thinks I am Krishna. There is complete oneness of meeting in the stage of Mahabhav. That time Radharani cannot think I am Radharani. Krishna cannot think I am Krishna. So who will explain what? To whom? Nothing to explain. Only feeling is there. Right? That is called Mahabhav. Therefore, useless for us to explain it. Even Radha and Krishna themselves cannot explain it. Okay. Where is this Mahabhav to be found? Yeah, right. Mahabhav is extremely rare. Even the Mahishis headed by Rukmini, it's not there. It is experienced by the Brajadevis headed by Radhika. By Radhika's mercy, those who are taken short of Radhika can also taste something by Radhika's grace. Okay, so I think we should finish here, otherwise it just becomes a blur. So we finished to the top of page 747, easy to remember. 747 aeroplane goes so high. So this stage here, next it talks about how many types of Mahabhav are there. 2 types. And just keeps going up, keeps going up. So that's why Guru said read 100 times. Okay, so I think we'll do this on Tuesday. Right. We'll finish this on Tuesday. And we begin our Purushottam Brat on Friday. So I don't know what the situation, what will happen in Krishna Balaram this Purushottam. Also because of coronavirus, we cannot go anywhere. Before we had so many plans to go to Mayapur and then to go to Puri. But COVID virus is not possible because if you go any other place, you have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. Also, Didi's health is not so great, so full program would put stress, so much cooking and noise and everything. So I think still we should give some, I wanted to go off internet for a month, but probably we should do some classes. Okay, very much, huh? Haribol. Okay, so Tuesday, please, at your convenience, try and finish this chapter 36 and a little bit read, even though none of us can understand anything. Even Radha Krishna can't understand all these topics, and how we will understand. But still, to respect Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what he's given, still we should read. That is sadhana, even though we are not feeling, still we have to practice. And Tuesday morning we'll finish this chapter 36. Okay. Thank you very much. Then Astakali Lila, chapter 37, chapter 38, Sambhog, meeting and Astakali Lila continued. 39, entering Lila, chapter 40, all perfection is there. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.